So I priorly was working with a utilities company in accounting. That's what my original bachelor's and master's degree are in. And I knew I wasn't happy, and I knew that I needed like a change for my career, just for my own sanity. And I had started looking into other programs at other schools that would have been actual like 3-4 year degrees online. And, that just didn't make sense for me already possessing a business degree and a master's in business and all of that. Also financially didn't make sense. So I kind of just expanded my search, and I came across the page for Recording Connection, and I reached out to admissions and asked for more information regarding the different programs, and officially landed on the music business program page and got more information about what that would actually entail. And I think the biggest thing for me is knowing that, you have the learning piece with the textbook and everything like that, but then you also have a hands-on piece, which is not offered at most places. So that was the big selling point for me. I think until you actually dig into how the industry works, most people have a very high level of, musicians make music, and some labels have those musicians on their roster and they give some money, and then somehow we hear it on the radio, or we buy it in the store, or we listen to it on Spotify or something. I think learning that there are so many different inner workings has helped me have an immense appreciation for not just the glitzy glamour kind of jobs that you think of in the music industry, but all of the jobs in between, in publishing and marketing and advertising and just everything under the sun that you could possibly think of. I think until you really dig into how the industry works and what the actual business aspects are, it's hard to almost imagine yourself finding a position. But as soon as I realized there's a whole plethora of options of things that I could do, you'll never be pigeonholed into one thing. I think that was one of the biggest things, because I kind of really questioned how could I possibly get into the industry, and what does that look like for me? And it almost became more difficult to figure out just the one thing that I did want to try and go after, because there were so many interesting things. I ended up coming across UMG's position on LinkedIn when I was searching. And then of course I also got notifications from the different websites that I'd signed up for. And pretty much that day after we worked on my resume and cover letter and stuff, I went ahead and applied. So after I found the position and I applied, I didn't actually hear back for, I think it was a couple weeks. And so I just kind of figured, okay, whatever. So in that meantime, I had spent talking with GERVAIS and continuing my search and everything. And then I did hear back from them, and they wanted to have an initial, just short call with an HR rep. And after that call, then they went ahead and scheduled an interview, a Zoom interview with an HR person. And I had that interview, and then they immediately wanted to schedule one with the hiring manager. So within I think it was 2 days, I had another interview with the hiring manager, and then she was I really like what we talked about, and it was such a good interview. It was a really fun interview with her. She was let's just for fun, let's have you interview with one of my colleagues as well. So then 2 days later, I interviewed again. And then after that, they were well, I think we'll reach out within a week or so, maybe we'll know something. And it was, I think 12 hours later, they called me with an offer. So yeah, it was actually a very interesting, it felt like a long process, but it was actually really back-to-back interviews. So it wasn't that long of a process to get hired, actually.